time for us to get into the dailies that we have today. But let me welcome the ebullient, the one and only, ever vivacious and colorful, Apioko. She's right here. Hello.
Hello. Should I be suspicious of all these accolades?
No, you see, the thing is that if English
all
madam is coming, I will
adjectives.
commode the English.
So you want to look in the dictionary,
Yeah, you know what?
or your thesaurus. Good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Super. I'm very good, thank you. Very
Good morning
good.
to everyone watching.
Yeah. Charlie, it's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Well, we'll delve into the papers. There's quite a lot of things happening.
Oh, yes.
But you have the daily graphic.
Yes, I do. So we should start from there.
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, so we have the big headline here. YEA empowers 600,000 Ghanaians. And the president, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akuffo-Addo, is commending the agency for that. And then we also have here tertiary business schools challenge launch. So there's a challenge or some kind of a competition for tertiary schools that are doing business courses. And that's been launched, which I find very interesting. And president nominates 2 to the Supreme Court. I think that's been a running conversation. And we've heard what has come out of that in the last couple of days. GRA exceeds mid-year target by 138.69 million Ghana cedis. And that's great to hear. And we are thinking that, that money should trickle down to a lot of the things that we need to get done in the country. So that's what you have on the front page of the daily graphic. But I find the thing about the challenge for tertiary business schools very important. Because we have gone back and forth over time talking about how when our young people learn things in school, the application of it in life becomes an issue. And so if there are things like this happening where people can, okay, this is what I learned, this is the theory, but in practicality, this is what it is. I think that's interesting. And then putting it in the form of a challenge or a competition always gives you something to fight for. So you are not just seeing the opportunity to apply what you've learned, but you are pushed to do it, you are propelled to do it, just because there's some friendly camaraderie and competition going on. So I find that pretty interesting. And then, like we were saying, if GRA has exceeded the target in this way, that's great news. There are so many things that we need to do. We can start listing them. From our roads to our street lights to all sorts of things. All sorts of things. So if that is the case, and all the taxes that we have been paying are paying off, then truly we want to see some of these things happen.
Fantastic. Well, government, Ghanaian Times says here, government steps up youth employment agenda as it plans to support security services to absorb YEA beneficiaries. We have Supreme Court defers ruling on anti-gay bill injunction until judgment on substantive case. Okay, this is interesting. Regulate use of honorary doctorate titles. Prof. Nyako is speaking there, and I agree. There's a lot of people that, we like big manism in Ghana generally. So this whole doctor, and we do need to insist on the regulation of the use of the titles,
That we do, and I mean, I can't claim to know what has gone into honoring some of these people, but generally we know that when somebody is given an honorary doctorate or any kind of honorary title, it's because they've shown working in their space, in their industry, in an area where they've grown to become an authority. They have done the work, there's evidence of it, and really, if they had actually gone to school to do the PhD, they probably would have got it. So that's usually what is considered, that you've contributed so much to your industry, so much to your academic realm, through your work, through things you probably published, through things that you've done in community and society, and it is there for everybody to see. And so for that matter, we are giving you this because you have become an authority. And in that case, sometimes what's even happening is that without you having the PhD, your work is being referenced in the academic space, in classrooms, in lecture halls. and then also in research realm. So yes, but I agree with the regulation, but I also want to believe, I want to believe that we are not just dishing out the titles, because that's dangerous.
I hope so.
When people begin to think they are what they are not,
It's true.
delusion sets
You know
in.
how it is.
And then people will be doing things that will come back to bite us. So I do agree with the regulation, but again, we can't claim to know. We are not the ones conferring the honorary degree, so we don't know.
At the back page, we have fire service fights prank calls, and 370-kilometer coastline risk tidal erosion. This story came out yesterday. Hydro authorities warning. So many different things are endangered. So we need to.
But this is not something that we are just finding.
No.
If for nothing at all, what we've been seeing happen in the Ketu South constituency, Honorable Ablajifa Gomashi's constituency, over and over again, she's been shouting. You know,
it's true.
People in those communities. In fact, when the Volta Dam spillage happened between September and then the big spillage in October, where we at ChannelOne TV, City FM had to step in with a Relief for Volta campaign. If you remember, there were a number of things apart from the spillage that had also affected the levels of water that we were seeing in some communities. Don't forget that at that point, there were some tidal waves in the mix. It had been raining. So it's not something that's new. And that's even just less than a year ago. Let's go back a couple of years. Let's go back 3 years. We've been talking about this. We're talking about sea defense. Sea defense, you know, building these things using the big boulders. Those things are not rocks, they're boulders. So many conversations have happened. And you see, when we begin to think that, oh, it's okay, you know, oh, it's okay, that's where we have problems. We're talking about people's livelihood being affected. Don't forget that a lot of the people along the coast, they literally rely on their proximity to the sea, to the ocean, for their food and for their economic livelihood. Then they live there. So if the water is beginning to come, you know, that is also a problem. Because what happens? Your property gets washed away, right? If you have any farmland around, that gets washed away. But then beyond that too, just the sheer danger of it, that one day the sea will come and wash people who are driving on the road away.
It's true.
Look, let's not
You'll be on the road and then the whole road will be washed away.
Let's not even think so far. Don't forget, you know, the Sacramento Beach Road. For those who are in the greater Accra region, realize at a point the road started just being eroded. You could see it, like something had been eating it in the night. It wasn't a human being chewing the road.
No, at all.
So we need to start paying attention to this. And if the hydrological authority has come out to say this, it means they have figures, they have statistics, they have numbers, they have done the research, and we should be worried. Because these are not people we hear from all the time.
Absolutely.
We should be very worried.
Absolutely. You want to do the finder?
Yes, so we've got the new finder here. GRA bags, so same story. GRA bags 68 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. That's even more, it makes it even more impressive, doesn't it? And then this is one that's been making the rounds. President appoints COP Yohunu as deputy IGP. And so that's coming in there. Ghana Publishing opens first regional office in Kumasi.
Okay.
Now, that's caught my attention, not just because I have an interest in reading and, you know, but it just struck me that all this time, we haven't had a regional office there.
That's serious.
And the Ashanti regional area, that middle belt, Ashanti regional area, Kumasi in particular, has always been critical to a lot of the things we do as a country. And so if we are only now having a regional office there, better late than never. But you know, I was just a bit shocked that we're now getting to that point. And we have here, again, President commends YEA, promises to enhance its appeal. And then there's something here which I also found interesting. 120-bed state-of-the-art Fomena and Kumewu hospitals commissioned.
Finally.
Finally. And a big kudos to all those who have been involved in getting it to this point. I want to see that its impact in the communities that they're situated within, these, would come to bear. We know the stories of healthcare. We know the horror stories of healthcare.
It will take a lot of pressure off Confanoche as well.
Exactly.
So this is really good.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, the Chronicle has these headlines here. It says Akuffo-Addo happy with the transformation of YEA. We have 7,000 police personnel recruited within 3 years. Vice President speaking there. Again, Ghana Publishing officially opens office in Kumasi. And unethical conduct of journalists and media practitioners. There's a story here in the Chronicle. We have the scripture for today. It says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This is Isaiah 43, verse 19. A new thing. I'm sure the new publishing houses are being referenced here in Scripture.
The Chronicle with these, with these scriptures.
I know, right?
Gotta love it. So we have here the Daily Guide. Lands Ministry exposes a black over sale of state lands, and that's on page 6. There's a picture of Honorable Samuel Abujinapo there. And I mean, look, these conversations, the maverick Honorable Abujinapo Blackwa has been raising a lot of things, and one of the things that has come up over the last few months is this sale of state lands, which has led to many other conversations. The reason why the issue with the Labadi Beach land and all that came, all these things. And the Daily Guide is saying that the Lands Ministry has exposed a black over the sale of land. So we'll see what that story is like and how it unfolds. We have here as well, ex-tour boss extradited to the U.S. for bribery.
Okay.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Very scary.
But is it surprising? With all the public sector shenanigans that goes on.
As for me, nothing shocks me. Not just in this town, but in life. But I just want to read a bit of the story.
Please
I'm going to page 3 of the Daily Guide. So the heading is the ex-tour boss extradited to U.S. for bribery. A former managing director of the Tema Oil Refinery, Asante Kwekubeku, has been extradited from the United Kingdom, UK, to the United States on Monday, July 15, 2024, to face prosecution for bribery allegations.
Okay.
Mr. Beku faces prosecution for his alleged involvement in bribing Ghanaian government officials during the administration of former President John Dramani Mahama's National Democratic Congress to secure a lucrative power plant deal and laundering illicit payments through the U.S. financial system. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office of the Eastern District of New York, Mr. Berko, a former Ghanaian-American banker, orchestrated a complex scheme involving the payment of substantial bribes to key officials, including government representatives, between December 2014 and March 2017. These dubious transactions were reportedly aimed at facilitating a power plant agreement with a Turkish energy company. And then it goes on to explain a number of things. Later on in the story, it talks about how there were discussions in August 2015 referencing substantial sums, including $250,000 disbursed to various recipients, with $20,000 designated for the MOP girls from the Ghanaian Ministry of Power, deemed crucial for information dissemination to conspirators. So there's so many things. And I mean, we haven't seen the dockets or the case papers or any of these things. But if this is true, I mean, there are people who are making Ghana proud. And then there are
the others. And then the others.
Yesterday there's a story of the first female, so first Ghanaian and female neurological students at Johns Hopkins since 1937.
Yes, I saw that.
And she's Ghanaian, very young lady. That's a great story. Those are the stories we want to hear. We're hearing Ghanaians making it to Senate in the U.S. Those are the stories we want to hear. These ones.
Anyway, well, there's this. Let me go to ChannelOneNews.com. There's some few stories there that I wanted. Let me just do a couple of headlines and I'll delve into one or two stories. So, African children want better education, not political games. Dr. Obiageli Ezekwesili, and this is her speaking. She was on Point of View last night with Bernard Avle. And we also have, let me give you a few more headlines. We'll continue to picket until Finance Ministry addresses our demands. Investment Holders Forum speaking there. Concerned Drivers Association to increase fares effective July 2022. Now, I'll delve into that story shortly. There we also have Akuffo-Addo appoints COP Yohunu as Deputy IGP. And election 2024, anyone who incites violence will be dealt with. And so that's what we have there. Now, let me quickly just give us that story about the drivers, concerned drivers, increasing fares. Now, the Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana has declared a 15% hike in transport fares set to take effect Monday, 22nd of July. 2024.
Which is in a few days.
Yes, just a few days done. Yeah, next Monday, actually, literally. The association cites the escalating cost of fuel, with some oil marketing companies selling products at prices exceeding 15 cedis. That's per liter. All right, now, then it goes on to say that the primary reason for this increase is the fuel price rise. Now, the surge in prices of other essential items, such as spare parts necessary for the transport business, has also influenced this decision. Now, here's my question, Appy. When the prices of fuel and other products go up, the transport people, those that play in the transport space, see the need to increase fares. But we also know that fuel is one of those products that the prices goes up and it also comes down. But we never see the transport people say that they are taking 10% off.
Yeah, because the fuel price is just one. You mentioned a medley of things that are influencing their one. Look, I've never been a taxi driver before. I've never been a ride-sharing app driver before. I've never been a chauffeur driver before.
I have been for 2 weeks.
However, I am a car enthusiast.
Yes.
Our roads alone, a vehicle that you would have to service maybe every 6 months.
Yeah.
Because of the way our roads are, they are not only bad, there's a lot of dust in the system.
Okay.
So a lot of the time, a car that you would service or a vehicle that you would service every 6 months, you're doing every 3 months.
Okay.
These are commercial drivers.
Okay.
Their cars have no rest. You go to the Churchill station, they're there as early as 3:30, 4 a.m. They're closing as late as 10:30, 11 p.m., depending on the station that they operate from. The cars don't rest, which means that the depreciation of the vehicle moves at a more rapid rate than it would with you using your car as an individual.
Okay.
Even your to and from work, you don't live at Kaswa,
no,
David, but your to and from work, it takes a toll on your vehicle. And these people are applying roads, they're maneuvering, they're doing all sorts of things. They're carrying load because there are all sorts of people and they are goods that make it onto these vehicles. Now, I'm not holding brief for them.
Okay.
I'm just saying, let's consider some of these things. Now, spare parts, because we don't produce spare parts in Ghana, it's one of two things. Either they get the spare parts from scraps, or in fact, one of three things. They get the spare parts from scraps, they buy off, so the ones that maybe the dealers, the official dealers or vehicle companies have had over a while, it gets to a point, it's like clearance. They can buy them off them, or they import. Whatever be the case, those parts are not cheap. And sometimes when you take from scrap or you get clearance, so a lot of the time they may be defective. Or if they are not defective, there may have been upgrades to a particular part, and so you need to order some screw somewhere because now the cars that have come can't take it if you don't. Look, it's a medley of things. And I'm saying that I'm not holding brief for them. Now, mind you, these vehicle owners, or these drivers, commercial drivers, they don't handle the mechanics of their own cars all the time. Some, yes, have been trained, what we call fitters, mechanics, right? A lot of them are not. You also have to pay the person who is going to service your vehicle. No, so it's a lot of things at play.
Yeah.
Yes, fuel prices, but that's just one of the things in the mix. That's just one of. But David, you drive a car, right? You drive. When fuel prices drop, does that necessarily reduce the amount that happens around your transportation?
No,
it doesn't.
Really.
And then don't forget that we also have traffic. The longer you sit in traffic, what happens?
The more fuel you burn.
The more fuel you burn.
Yeah, you've not gone anywhere. You
No,
start
even
for
without using
two
an
hours
AC.
and you've gone very little.
Even without using an AC.
Yeah.
So I get it. We say, well, let them show us a human face, and as we would want them to, because it's not like the person who is patronizing the trotro or the taxi has increasing salaries, or when the fuel price goes down, no, your salary increases.
Yeah,
That's also not
it's
how
true.
it happens.
Yeah.
Or your rent is stable.
Yeah.
No, so many things. But then they too have families to feed.
Okay.
They too have hospital bills to pay.
Yeah.
And then they too have the maintenance of their vehicle, because those vehicles are their tools for business.
Okay. I want you to take a quick bite on this before you leave us. Dr. Ezekwesili said something yesterday, and I'm just going to quote her, and then I want you to quick comment on it. She described it as unfair for the political class to victimize children of the poor by turning education into a political battleground. You need to find voices of reason that will make up a constituency for education. They are not getting themselves wrapped up around politics, because frankly, these children don't care what political party you belong to. They just want to have a fighting chance like their counterparts in the rest of the world. So it's unfair for the political class to just victimize children of the poor by turning education into a duel between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman. So you don't need that. What you need is to have sensible evidence that will support whatever direction a government wants to follow. She said a number of things, but this is just one of them. And let's wrap up with that. Yeah.
No, I mean, I totally agree with her. Yesterday, when I, caught basically what she was saying, I was excited.
Yeah.
These are not things that we don't know. These are not things that we've not been standing on the top of the roof shouting about.
Yeah.
Over and over again, government after government, we've seen the transitions. There was JSS that came because we said we don't want you finishing JHS to,
and then
you don't have anything to do. So let's include the technical aspect of things.
Yeah.
That's where pre-tech came from. Let's do some vocational. Some were doing basket weaving. So I did catering.
Okay.
There are all those things.
Okay.
Then we said, okay, let's do SHS 4 years. Somebody said, no, let's do 3 years. Let's go back. Then, the free SHS policy came. So many different things.
Yeah.
Free basic education, all that. And the conversations are endless. We don't have time to get into that. But bottom line, what is our policy on education? And that policy, does it stem from a long-term plan that we've documented as a country that says, over the next 20 years, this is what we want our education
as a country
to achieve.
Yeah.
These are the kinds of students we want to churn out at the basic level, at the high school level, at the tertiary level. When they come out of school, this is what they should look like. This is what they should know. This is how they should think.
Yeah.
And this is how they should be able to fit into society. Now, over the 20-year period, we break it down into 2-year, so the short term, 2-year, 5-year morsels. How are we implementing to get to this point? How are we implementing to get to that point? Are we doing that? If we don't do that, we are in for a huge mess. And when that mess comes,
we're in trouble.
We
can't handle it.
We shouldn't be shocked.
Can't handle it.
We shouldn't be shocked. Are we teaching our young people how to think critically? Are we preparing them? We keep saying we are running the literacy challenge. How many times have we not said that? Now it's not about reading and writing. Your ability to learn, relearn, unlearn. Your ability to look at your surroundings and apply knowledge. How many times have we not spoken about that?
So many times.
So as for this, you know how passionate I am about this.
Of course.
We can't end it on this set today.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting news review segment there. Sports is next. Don't go anywhere. right, now on the sporting front, we have some Premier League on City News. Chelsea yesterday began disciplinary proceedings against midfielder Enzo Fernandez after he posted a video on social media that French Football Federation said included an alleged racist and discriminatory chant. Now, Fernandez' Chelsea teammate Wesley Fofana, who has one cap for France, posted an image of the video on Instagram describing it as an uninhibited racism. Fernandez, a £107 million British record signing in February 2023, said he was truly sorry for the video he posted as Argentina celebrated winning the Copa America. FIFA is also investigating the video, in which several members of the Argentina squad take part in a song originally sung by Argentina fans questioning the heritage of France's black and mixed race players. Wow. Okay.
Right, still in the world of sports, Manchester United are in the process of signing Lille's 18-year-old French defender Lenny Yoro after the player underwent medicals in England on Wednesday. The two clubs came to an agreement over a £52 million deal last week, but Yoro had his sights originally set on a move to Real Madrid, but reports say that he welcomed the switch to England after some discussions. Lille were more in favor of selling to Man United instead of Real Madrid because the Spanish side wanted to capture the player on a free transfer at the end of June 2025, while the Red Devils wanted to offer some money. Should the deal get completed, it will mark the second acquisition for Manchester United in this window after bagging Dutch forward Joshua Zirkzee from Bulgaria.